Making this video was very tough for me specifically. I usually don't like to be dominant when it comes to shouting my opinions. I like to keep my personal opinions to myself. But I feel as though we don't have time for that anymore. We need to, and I say we, I mean humanity, as people from the human race. I feel as though we need to just. I feel as though humanity in itself needs to just understand that everybody's gonna have differences, whether they be physical differences, whether they be religious differences, political preferences. You just first of all, get over yourself. Get out this ego that you're some superior human. You're not. We're all made of DNA and genes inside of us. None of us are really that much different from each other. And let me just say to the family and friends of George Floyd and Ahmuad Arbery and many other victims that weren't able to either make the news or my heart and my prayers go out to those families and friends. I can't imagine what they can go through, especially as a, I don't want to say minority, because minority means inferior, and no human is inferior to anybody else. Nobody. So I feel as though that being a black male, a young black male in a land where not everybody's gonna like you. We can't fake the fantasy and act like everybody's all lovey-dovey, Care Bear type stuff. Have to we have to understand that in this world, people just aren't going to respect you. People aren't going to acknowledge your existence. People aren't going to even appreciate the hard work that you put in. But once we as people understand that you should respect everyone else's differences and you should acknowledge that clearly. Now, I'm not saying, don't see color. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is you should acknowledge someone's differences. Acknowledge them, but don't change because of what they might look like or what they might believe. You treat them with the utmost respect, and you acknowledge that. You make sure that, and you make it known. Make it known that humans are humans at the end of the day. No matter what you look like, no matter what your disability might be, no matter what your gender is, sexual preference, whatever that may be. Understand that they're no different than you, and they're no better than you, just like you're no better than them. We're all the same. So I feel as though I also want to talk about something that doesn't get talked about a lot these days. And this is a cliche, but it still works. If we just love one another. I'm not saying you have to be, call them every day and give everybody a hug, or give every stranger a hug you see on the street. Just, sometimes a simple, smile when you're passing somebody by. A small smile, something that could, a split second, that could change somebody's entire day. Make their day 10 times better than what it was prior. And I also feel like we need more of this. And if you don't agree with this, or if this is not necessarily your style or anything like that, that's fine. You have the right to believe whatever you choose. But I'm just telling you from my experience that this has worked for me, and I'm not the only one. So I feel as though that once we get, for me personally, I feel like this is a priority. But if you feel as though your priority is something else, that's totally up to you. I feel as though as humans, we need to just put love first. Love one another. No matter what we might look like, we need to just respect each other's differences. Acknowledge that we have differences. Acknowledge that, but then respect it. Just because someone looks differently does not make them any less of a person or inferior than you or anybody else. We gotta get out of this notion, and I say we, I mean everybody. You know, we've all judged someone we weren't supposed to just because. We've all done it. We're all guilty of that. Cool, we acknowledge that. But now we gotta take a step further. We can't just keep saying we're gonna change and then nothing happened. We can't say, because I heard someone say this one time. You know, you can run in place all day, but are you moving? Is the question. Are you really moving? Running in place all day? Are you really moving? Is progress being made? I also, last thing I'll say, and some of you may agree or disagree, but this isn't the last time we're gonna hear an incident like this. This is you know, it seems like a reoccurring, repeating, non-stop cycle of just constant, constant, constant hatred for one another. It just seems like a never end. It feels like our great grandchildren are gonna have to deal with the same things that we're dealing with. All this progress we got in these other categories, and the progress we have in technology, the progress we have in universities, the progress we have in clothing, all of this progress we might have, but yet the problems that we are really in need of fixing it and finding a solution for some reason they just seem stagnant. It doesn't make any sense. But I'll tell you how we can change that. 3 things. 1, love one another. 2, respect our differences, because yes, we have them. And the last thing is, and personally, the most important thing. Everything you need to know about love, respect, and kindness is in here. And if you don't want to go with this, then ignore all of the rules I just said. Ignore all of it. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. Someone once said that in a video I was watching the other day. You keep doing what you've been doing, you're gonna keep getting what you've been getting. And we're just gonna keep getting this. So same old solution. Once we change our daily attitude, I feel as though progress will be made, but it will be slow progress. But any progress is good progress. But right now, this isn't progress. We've constantly taken a step back. Constantly. For the past decades, parents have been preaching to their children outside of the main known race that don't wear a hood outdoors, and keep your hands out your pockets, and when you get pulled over, keep both hands on the wheels, and all this stuff that we have to do just so we can be as perfect as possible so that we don't cause any trouble. It's a reoccurring cycle that we have to change. And it all starts with just respecting our differences. It's really where it starts. Again, my thoughts and prayers to Ahmuad Arbery and his family and friends, George Floyd, his family and his friends, and the many other victims that we've yet named. My thoughts and prayers go out to you. Hope you guys stay safe, and God bless you.